So on to our corrections now. Ted, when you were talking about a new market, you said this is a really, really new market. You actually, when you're talking about a new market, you don't need to stress that it's new by saying really, really. So you could just say this is a new market. The same goes for a lot of times when we're writing a paper to submit for work or for college, and if you have to go into so much detail to describe something, it's actually, you shouldn't say something like this is a really new market. It should be like this is a new market, and then you should explain why, you know. But when we speak, it's just this is a new market.
Do you mean quickly use really too often?
Yes, it's overused. Yeah, yeah. Even in the U.S. too. If you're watching the news and someone's speaking about something, it's overused to where it's incorrect.
Okay.
It still makes sense, but it's not necessary. Yeah. And then you said, thank you for you guys saying when we're talking about, I think we were talking about our holidays maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It should be thank you guys instead of thank you for you guys. Thank you guys for saying, or yeah. And then I was a little bit surprised by this when you were talking about Stanley Kubrick was born in the early 1900s, right? You said early 1900s? Like, at the time you said 19s, which I know a lot of times, like when we say the date of something in the 90s, in the 1900s, we say 1975, 1918, but actually we call it 1900s. Yeah, yeah. When you say 19s, I was like, 19s? What? So,
Century. If I say 19th, that means 19th century. That means 1800 something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you said 19s, talking about the 1900s. So you can say 20th century if you wanted to. Yeah. And you're right. 19th century would be 1800s. But if you're just saying like that century, say it as 1900s.
So early 1900s.
Yeah, early 1900s. Yeah. And then you said Stanley Kubrick was working for a magazine filming as a photography, which when we say filming, we always refer to filming as in making a video, and as a photographer. So working as a photographer or filming, depending on what he was doing. So he was working as a photographer or he was filming. But if he was filming, he would be making movies, not a photographer. Jay, you said you went to a musical place, the theater. Yeah, we went to the theater and watched a musical. And then you said 2 new members joined in my company. 2 new members joined my company, or we recruited 2 new members. You can say, yeah. My thinking is, I think, when you were talking about your thoughts, for that I would say my thoughts are on this, or my thoughts on the subject, or my thoughts about that are. So my thoughts are. And you said I want to ask my company that when you were talking about the keyboard cover. Yeah. I want to ask my company for that. And then Joan, you said you were impressed by the scenery of the sea when you were talking about Busan. I don't know why I wrote that down. That's actually fine. Ignore that. I'm sorry. That's fine. Yeah, you were impressed by the scenery of the sea. You can say I was impressed by the sea, which is more simple. And then you said when you saw other families and not too many couples, I was not that much lonely. It didn't feel too lonely, or I didn't feel lonely. And then you said, I think Busan is not that big city. I think Busan is not that big of a city. Not that big of a city. And then you said it's, when you were talking about a tablet, you said it's inconvenient to bring portability. It's inconvenient. It's inconvenient to carry, or you can say it's not that portable. When we talk about, when we describe technology, and if it's not easy to carry, we just say it's not that portable. And then Soe, you said tablet is not invented by Apple. The tablet is not. The tablet was not invented by Apple. Should be the tablet was not. And then you said early 1990s and 20s when you were talking about the 2000s, but we don't call it the 20s. So again, it would be either 21st century or 2000s. I know when we say the date, we can say like 2015, 2010. That's fine. But when you talk about the whole century, we call it 2000s. Yeah. And then you said when you were talking about your coworkers going out with customers all night, and then you were talking about the logs that you see. You said, I see the 100,000 logs. I see hundreds of thousands of logs. And that's it? Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions?